Alright, we're going to talk about changing an improper fraction into a mixed number. And the reason that you have to change an improper fraction into a mixed number is because when you look at this, and you know what you're looking at, you will see that this fraction does not look like other fractions. Most fractions that you come across will have a smaller number on top and a bigger number on bottom. This one's a little bit messed up because this one has a bigger number on top. That bigger number is too heavy for that 4 to hold all by itself. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to call in some extra support. What we do is we're going to go back to that lovely making an L that is utilized so often. We make the L, we flip everything, and you'll see that there's a division sign right here. You can use your imagination and see it. 5 is on the inside, so we're going to put a 5 here. 4 is left on the outside, so the 4 hangs out here. Now when we do the division, 4 goes into 5 how many times? Well, we know that that's only one time. 1 times 4 is 4. We're left with 1 over. Now, we're not going to use a remainder. We're too old for remainders. What we will do is we're going to take that 1 that's all the way at the bottom, and we're going to move it all the way to the top. The way top. Like the numerator of a fraction. Now, every fraction needs a numerator and a denominator. The denominator is going to be the same thing that was here and here. So the denominator is still 4. 5 over 4, which is sideways, is the same as 1 and 1/4. Let's do another one. Let's look at 13 over 2. We have our fraction. We're going to make our L. We're going to turn the paper, or once you get experience with it, you can just look at it and say, well, the 13 is inside the box, so the 13 goes here. 2 is outside, 2 goes here. 2 goes into 1 how many times? Well, 2 doesn't go into 1. 2 goes into 13 how many times? 2 goes into 13 6 times. 6 times 2 is 12. We're left with 1 left over. Because we're not going to use remainders and we don't want to go into decimal points, we're going to pull that 1 all the way from the bottom, all the way to the top. And then we still need a denominator, which is going to be the same thing from before. It will be 2. 13 over 2 is the same as 6 1/2. Let's take a look at one more. Let's take a look at 21 over 7. We're going to do the same exact thing. We're going to make the L. We're going to turn the board. 21 on the inside, 7 on the outside. 7 goes into 2, doesn't go into 2. 7 goes into 21 3 times. 7 times 3 is 21. Now we have a 0. If you end up with a 0 at the very end, you don't need to pull it all the way to the top, because it'll just be 0 out of 7, which is not a fraction that's going to be useful here. 21 over 7 is the same thing as 3. Sometimes when you do this, you will get a whole number, which you'll probably be grateful for because whole numbers are a little bit easier to work with than fractions.